Hi,
Hi, guys.
it's me, Katie Morton,
And Jenn Palmer.
and together we are divinely guided. We're both, my voice is cracking like I'm 12 and a boy. And we're divinely guided. We're both intuitives, energy healers, spiritual teachers. And I already said it, but I'm going to say it again. Together we're divinely guided.
And on the first Thursday of every month, we try to get together with you to connect with your loved ones and spirit guides to see what kind of wise things they have to say for you. So if you have any questions, feel free to type it in. We're streaming to multiple places and things. So
yeah, we have a little chat software, pulls it all in. We go in order. So don't take it personally or feel offended. We're not skipping you. We just haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, and please share if you like this and want to support us.
And like and subscribe and email us to make appointments and all the things.
Yeah, and go to divinelyguided.tv because we have videos and things that we also do, some recorded videos where they're usually about 15 to 20 minute videos, and we discuss different growth and
spiritual topics and how to develop your intuition and how to manifest and all good things.
Yeah, and we have a good time.
We do.
Okay,
let's get to our first question.
So the first question is, it's from Jason. My wife and soulmate passed away very unexpectedly while visiting our grandson. I'm very lost and was hoping she would have a message for me. She was my life. She was my best friend for 25 years.
Okay, Jason.
Okay. So that is Jason Quinn. The first thing I want to say is, as soon as I try to open up to it, I was bombarded with loved ones. There's a whole bunch of them here. So I feel like this is more than just about your wife. I feel like there's something that you're learning as a soul. There's an art to letting go. I'm not feeling that there's a message from her yet at this moment, but it feels like as the collective of your loved ones are here, there is a process that you're going through in the idea of release and grief and letting go and being able to heal and keep your heart open.
And they just want me to add, she's getting healing now. So the reason she's not here is not personal. They're not trying to withhold her from you or punish you or anything like that.
Yeah, I was getting that too.
And they also just said, and she lived a good life. And so remember that, and that she loved and loves you dearly, but that there were specific traumas in this lifetime that she does need healing from. And it's going to take a little bit of time. I do feel like, though, after some time, you will start seeing some signs and symbols, so that you will know that she's with you. And I do feel she will be with you and watching over you and guiding you in some ways.
I just saw a butterfly, and a lot of times people they have beautiful messages with butterflies, and then they connect that to a loved one who maybe love butterflies or something like that. But I just saw a butterfly, so I do feel that if you see a really interesting butterfly or it kind of hits you out of nowhere, just feel into that. That might actually be her presence. They might be trying to get your attention. But I feel like there's more on a soul level that they want you to understand here. So I'm going to try to get that, and let me know if you get anything. What I feel like I'm getting about this is, a lot of times, especially when you've been with somebody for so long, you kind of lose yourself in the connection and the relationship a little bit. And it's not a bad thing. There's seasons to what we're meant to experience. And I do feel like this next stage of your life is about stepping into that idea of who are you now. And it's really
finding yourself.
It's really important. And because life is going to be very different, obviously, and it will never be the same, but you have an opportunity to make it still very amazing. And they want you to remember that. And as you're working through the grief, try to see it from how is this going to help me in whatever's next, because that will help you move through the grief a little bit quicker. And do not be afraid of that process. The grief is messy, and it's going to take a little bit of time, and you're just going to have your own way of working through it, but you will get through it. Just try to stay as positive as you can about why you're going through what you're going through, and that you haven't been abandoned.
I just sort of might not feel like it now, but that you are strong enough to handle this. And I feel like there is a way for you to get through this with more grace and more ease. One thing is to don't. Sometimes when we lose someone, I don't feel like you're here yet. I think you're just in that real hard grieving phase. But then sometimes we can get stuck in that because we feel like it would dishonor the memory of the loved one to move on or to feel good. And just know that she would want you to do those things, to let go appropriately, to honor her memory, letting go appropriately, and coming into your own and moving on up. I just heard. And allowing yourself to feel good about it when that time comes. And I feel like she would not want you to be stuck in this hard grief forever. And so allow yourself, don't get stuck in the process of it, feeling as if it would wrong her if you felt good. It definitely would not. And I feel like that's something to maybe like, you don't need to necessarily hear that right now, but that's like something for a little later when you are able to start feeling good. Don't drag yourself back into it.
Yeah, I don't feel like I'm getting anything else though.
Yeah, I think that was it.
All right. Well, we really wish you well, and great big hug to you. I know that's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay. All right. Let's see. We have Amy Money says,
Money.
"Hey, ladies, good to see you. Any messages for me tonight? Thank you as always." Okay, Amy.
Not quite sure what this means yet, but I'm assuming it's you. I don't know, but it looked like a younger version of you, just a younger girl. So I don't know if you have a daughter or something, but I feel like it's more you. But there was this like dressed in pink, like a little pink leotard, and she was practicing ballet. She was trying to do some ballet moves, and she was a little bit clumsy with it, but trying to, ballet is meant to be graceful and beautiful, and you have the right step, and you just, everything is very like, yes, here I am. It's very stiff and yet beautiful and graceful. And it's, the girl that I saw in this vision was kind of like not, but she was trying really hard. So what I feel like I'm getting with this, when I was trying to get with the gist of what this message meant, it felt to me that you're trying to master something, where this girl is, if it's your daughter or something, I don't know, but whoever this was, they were trying to master it. There's an art that they are trying to master. I don't think it's necessarily dancing, but it's a mastery and it's a practice over and over and over again. And you don't get fed up with yourself. You just keep doing it till your body remembers how. And that's the feeling of, I think, what the message is. Keep doing it until you remember how.
Yeah, and what I'm feeling is that it's about that whole, it's like this enlightenment process where you're able to see situations and the world from a much, much higher perspective. And so typically we process things from like down here in the personality. And the process is about coming out of our own concerns, worries, fears, and our own perspective and gaining a much higher, wiser perspective. Um, and that's, it's challenging, right?
Sometimes.
It's it's not for humans of Earth, it's like why we're here in one sense, but and it's not that easy to do, especially with the circus going on around us in the world. It's really easy to just have it like right in front of your face, and I can't separate out, my ego's opinion from a higher perspective, basically. So, um, but what she said, it's like keep at it, but it also feels like coming at it from a higher perspective. Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's a more helpful way to put that. It seems
let's
sort
see if
of
there's anything else.
pat. Okay, so one tip they're giving is if you journal about yourself in the third person, I feel like I might have given you that tip before, Amy, but it's like this idea of when you write about a situation, instead of being like, and then she said this and I said that, and I can't believe, that's usually how we process things. But it's like, Amy thinks that, the world is flat. I don't know, whatever. That's a curious thing to think. I wonder why she feels that way, or I wonder why she thinks that way. And so it's like a different way of, I haven't really done this, or maybe I've only done it once. So I don't have a lot of direct experience with this exercise, but my guides seem to like it when people are having a hard time getting into the higher perspective. They'll often give the advice of writing about yourself, like writing the story, but from a third person perspective, and injecting yourself as if you're a character in the story, and doing your best to come from that sort of high, wise, loving parent, as if your own parent, and as if you are the child, and that there's a better way to see this or to get it. And so that's how you would kind of write it out, and you can get to that more, it's like one person removed kind of perspective.
Well, they brought me also back, Amy, to the dance. And what someone said really quickly was, the reason why you stumble is because you're trying to do it the way others do it. And there's deeper creativity with whatever this is representing. There's deeper creativity, and it would be really good to explore your own moves, your own way of doing whatever this is about. I just heard also, because I felt like it wasn't quite done. That's why I was like, sorry if that's boring. But it was like, be expressive. Be expressive. And that really goes hand in hand with what you were saying too. Like, don't be afraid to write stuff down and to see what's happening and really express, express, express. Am I getting anything else?
I think that's it.
Okay. All right. Michelle, Eileen, anything from my son Richard? Let's see. Okay. I'm not sure if this is Richard or if it's somebody else, but I saw a shotgun, which makes me think of like hunting. So whoever this is, I think they enjoyed hunting or had a shotgun or something, but it felt like more for sport or game in some way. It's how it felt. I'm also getting a feel of a love for maybe motorcycles or like maybe even like a dirt bike of some sort, just something similar to that.
And I keep hearing hunting dog.
So I also feel like there might be more than one person coming through here. And Now I just heard mission, mission, mission. So I don't know if this is from your loved ones, but usually when I hear mission, 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 it's about you, and it's usually from your guides. And I do feel like they're asking you to move into, and I don't know if you're fully in it or if you even know what it is yet, but if you're not sure what your mission is here, and it feels like to be of service in some way to others, it feels like if you're already in it and you feel like you're doing it, then maybe you're being called to take it to the next level. My sense is, though, I don't know that you know yet, or you haven't really stepped into it. If you do know, you haven't really jumped in. Um, but I do feel like it's time for you to really jump in and or take it to the next level. I'm not sure what this means, but I heard very specifically 3 seasons. I'm not sure what that means yet. And then I heard emotional healing. So what I feel like I'm getting with this is, the wounding that you're having is keeping you locked into the weeds. Basically, it's really keeping you locked down and keeping you from exploring all that you really are here to do. Um, I think it's similar to the first question that we had with Jason. Don't be afraid to allow yourself to thrive, even when it seems like maybe you shouldn't be allowed to, or it would feel wrong in some way and dishonoring. Um, and I think this is for more than just you. So I think there's a thread that comes with you, Michelle. I'm not sure if it's all going to relate to you or not, but sometimes they come through with messages for everybody or a lot of people. This feels like it's for more than you, and maybe a handful. A lot of times we use the idea of grief on purpose to hold us back. It becomes more of an excuse for us to not thrive and to not move forward with our mission and what else we're here to do when someone leaves us. Um, and they just want to really make sure that you're not allowing yourself to stand where you're at because of that. And it just feels like you have so much more to give and to offer than I think you're fully allowing. I feel like parts of you dip your toes in it or something. I feel the thread, but really allow yourself to come forward and move in with your mission and really, I just want to say, like, dive in and be it. Yeah, I'm not sure if you have some ants on the other side, but I do feel a presence. It feels like maybe your mom's or dad's sisters. I feel like there's more than one, but they're coming in, and then one of them was just like, yes, yes, move forward, please. Giant leap.
Yeah, the other thing I was getting, I'm not sure if it's directly for you, Michelle, or for it's others watching who have lost loved ones. Sometimes we grieve in certain ways because it's what's expected of us. And when we lose a loved one, especially someone so close, like, for example, a mother losing a son or a husband losing a wife, all these people have these ideas of how you're supposed to grieve and how you're supposed to be about it. And you're not allowed to be too happy and you have to wear black for a year. And there's like all these shed all everyone else's expectations for you and how you're supposed to grieve, because it's really none of their business and it's not their process. And don't allow that to factor in whatsoever with how you act, how you interact. Um, don't be afraid to laugh too loud if something's funny. It's like just when it comes to the grieving process, you have to just do it authentically and be you and do you and to get through it in the way that you best know how without putting other people's expectations onto you. There's also something about, I don't think this is for you specifically, Michelle, but some people can, like you were saying, use grief as an excuse, and people can also use it as sort of like a manipulation at times as well, of like, because they don't feel like picking themselves up and dusting themselves off.
Well, there's a deliciousness so we like to say, you know, when you're not able to be in that higher space and the higher wisdom for whatever reason, whether it's anger or grief or fear or whatever it is, there's a deliciousness there. There's a reason why you just feel like, yeah, I got to be in there, and I don't like it, but yet I do, you know, and it's so hard to pull yourself out of it. And there's something to get there. But you know, the thing is usually there's not, you know, we're there for lower reasons, and it's not necessarily serving you to stay in that space. It doesn't mean you don't need, you know, don't grieve. It doesn't mean to ignore your emotions or anything like that. It's quite the opposite, actually. But it's just approaching it from a higher space instead of in the weeds. And then you actually end up working through things much more quickly, and you're not stuck in the drama of whatever that situation is. And you've actually, that's how you catapult forward. That's how you use these challenges to really make something in your life, to do something positive, and to use the, you know, in this case, the passing of your son, to use it for something really positive. You know, anything tragic that happens or difficult does not need to take you down, you know, and you can use it to just really do amazing things. And so I think that's the big message with death in general, you know, just how are you going to use it? You know, it's all going to happen. You know, none of us make it out of here alive. Well, maybe, I don't know. Maybe when the Pleiadians come and take us on their ship or something, I don't know. We can get out of here alive. I don't know. But
we'll do our best.
Yes. I mean, right now, you know.
Beam me up, Scotty.
Yes.
Yeah.
But, you know, so we all have that process to face at some point. And, you know, we got to get really comfortable with the healing and the opening of the heart and the coming from a higher space to really nail it and to really master this process, you know.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one of the things my guides do like to say at times when appropriate, so all y'all can apply this as appropriate, but when it comes to any hard stuff, drama, loss, what they'll say is get in and get out. And what they mean by that is like, get in there, process it, take the wisdom, take the higher perspectives, take the good stuff, get in there with the express intention of like, I'm going to mine this situation for the goodness, and then get out. Like, put it on the shelf. Like, don't go rummaging around in the dumpster. It's like, find what's good, and then do your best to move on.
Yeah, you know, the other thing too is like, again, when you have these things that we have to go through, a lot of times we get stuck because we allow it to define us. You know, we're trying to figure out how this makes us who we are. No, turn it on its head. How do you make the situation what you want it to be based on what's shown up? You know, and how can you thrive with all of this and not be stuck? And how can you make someone else's life even better because of it, you know? So I think, you know, in the hard, difficult times, we have these catalysts and challenges and the difficult issues and dramas and traumas, you know, it's always about how it can move us. So.
Right on.
All right.
All right. Carrie Goulet says,
Carrie.
Hi, Carrie. Hi, beautiful ladies. Any general messages from my guides for me today? Sorry, I read it because I couldn't remember who read it last.
I couldn't either, so good. Thanks.
This is my dog making all kinds of weird noise. It's not me.
Well, and I just moved this. I have this crystal
is that
here.
What that was?
Yes, and I moved it, and it sounded like something. I did not do anything.
I actually
strange.
thought the dog farted. Blame the dog. It was the crystal.
It was not me either.
The crystal farted.
It moved on the table, and I was like, oh.
Because you know us, we love our crystals, but they can scrape up the table, as they do.
Okay.
All right, Carrie.
So, Carrie.
So, Carrie, after all that, get in, get out. Okay.
But this is fun. The guy just said, moving right along.
We're trying. I keep laughing.
I'm going to say what I'm getting, but I don't feel like I'm quite hitting the nail on the head yet. And I'm thinking maybe because you're going to get a piece of it. So I'll say how I'm getting it, but I don't think I've got it quite right. It's something along the lines of, I don't know if there's a situation going on that there's some judgment or maybe not clear thinking around, or maybe confusion or something like that. But I got the sense of, kind of like putting it over here and stepping back to look at it because like you're in too close to it.
I'll show you the imagery they gave me. It goes along with what you're saying. They said that you're stuck in some sort of a pattern or a habit, way of thinking, being, doing, acting. I'm not sure. But what they showed you was on a unicycle. And you were just going around in circles. And you would just go around the circle and then you go, eh. And then you kept going around the circle and then you go, eh. And they're like, get off the unicycle and like pick up your journal or something. But I think there's like part of it is sort of like maybe not knowing how to deal with it or just sort of ignoring it, and it just keeps coming around again. And it doesn't feel like the ascension process that we talk about, where lessons keep visiting and then we kind of get better aspects of it. It feels like the same aspect, like is on a track. It's like there's a stuckness.
Yeah, I just kind of feel like whatever this is, you're looking at it too closely. You're not getting the wisdom of it.
And I gotta say, this is for everybody, and you Carrie, as well. But it was the idea of when we're stuck in the closeness of, we're in a situation and it keeps showing up, and we're like, eh. There's an aspect of us that wants to go, well, they're the problem, whoever is showing up in a certain way, let's say, or however. It's real easy for us.
We don't ever do that,
right? Yeah, I mean,
right.
Again, once again, humans of Earth. Yes. We blame our outside conditions on the outside conditions, right? Whether it's the people or whatever keeps showing up, like we just think, well, it's outside of me and it's outside of my control, and I've done my part, and so nah. And it's oftentimes there's something that we can change about how we're viewing the situation, how we're interacting within the situation. We always have, well, I don't want to say always is a strong word, but 9 times out of 10, we have a lot more power than we understand or than we know to shift situations. And whether that's by healing a wound, coming to a higher vibration, looking at something a different way. And then oftentimes our demeanor will change, our energy will change around a situation. And then the outside circumstances can shift. And that might even mean somebody that we think is hopeless starts showing up differently for us. And they could start treating us differently. And it could shock the pants off you. But
I've seen that so many times.
I have too. But it's always about seeing like, all right, well, how can I do, like, because the only thing I can control is myself. I can't control other people. If you're doing life right anyway, right? You're not trying to like run around and get everyone to like do your will and submit to you, Queen Carrie.
I know people like that too. Not Carrie, but
I know, not Carrie, but yeah, we all know people like that. So it's like, you're not trying to do that. That's not the approach. The approach is you change you, and then everything else gets to change. So
I think I'm not getting anything else.
I think that was it. Yeah. I just realized I'm going to look up the Rumble tubes.
Oh, the Rumble.
And see
yeah, guys, we're on Rumble too. We're kind of trying to start growing that a little bit. And, if you're on Rumble at all, find us and join our channel, subscribe. Okay, that's the same person.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Lily Bean 7,
That
if
was
you
Jason.
can,
That was Jason.
I got you.
Yeah.
If you can hear us, well, or if you can't, we'll repost this. Just so you guys always know, these replays are available on divinelyguided.tv. And there's lots of wisdom in these big hour-long videos every month now. So you can always rewatch some stuff. But please join us on the live because that makes it much more fun to actually have people here. Tell your friends.
Otherwise, it won't happen.
I know, right?
Exactly. Nothing to say.
Nothing to say.
Your birds and crickets and
yeah, basically.
Anyway, yeah. Okay, next.
Your turn.
Jody Davidson, Supernaut. Okay, hello ladies, good evening. My husband's been gone for 13 months. Does he have any messages for me?
Okay.
I think he's here. I'm feeling like a real gentle, loving, almost like a teddy bear kind of feeling. Like there was definitely a macho-ness, but there was also like this real gentleness that's coming through. I think that's him. I don't know what this means. Maybe it's an inside joke, or maybe it's somebody else too coming in. A lot of times family comes in together. But I saw a tube of toothpaste. I don't know what that's about. I'm just telling you what I get. I'm also feeling like this sense of guilt, and I'm trying to figure out if it feels more from him or if it's for you. I'm leaning towards it's more about how you might be feeling, either guilty moving on or guilt around the situation and how things happened. But whatever it is, there's definitely a sense of, don't feel that way. Let that go. It's not solving any problems if that is about you.
They just wanted to add, he loves you very much.
Yes. Well, and I heard something about a lifetime of happy memories. I also do feel like from him, though, that there were times that he did regret some things, and I am feeling some regrets. But generally, it feels happy and good. I feel like he feels like it was a good life. I heard, don't be afraid. I'm not sure what that's referring to, though. I don't know if it's about loneliness or feeling isolated. I'm sure holidays can sometimes be difficult too. I'm picking up on something around that. So I don't know if that's about you or maybe other people in the family. I feel like we've had a lot of conversations around people passing tonight. That doesn't always come up.
Yeah.
And I feel like some of what has been said applies. So I don't think we need to say any more. So hopefully you've heard what we've said. But other things, it just kind of feels like it didn't really apply to you. And now someone just showed me like a flower pot. It was like a terracotta flower pot. And I think whoever showed me the flower pot said to use your voice and your imagination more. I think this is another message also too about moving forward in your next phase and your mission and what you're here to do. That definitely seems to be a theme tonight. And someone just said, "Kick it into gear." I don't know.
And I just heard to everyone who's lost a loved one, use us as inspiration, not an anchor.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, that makes total sense.
Get your wings and fly.
And then I felt them leaving because I don't know, they're very polite. I feel like they were saying there's more people who need something.
Some help.
And but
That
then
is polite.
it was very polite. And I kind of feel like, I don't know if it's your mom but it was definitely like a feminine energy. And I think that's who was showing me the flower pot. But then I also saw what looked like, I couldn't tell if it was like a yearbook or if it was like a magazine, but it looked like, it reminded me of a yearbook where you have like picture, 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 picture. So I think it might have been like a yearbook or something. So I don't know if you lost somebody when you were in high school, a close friend or something, or uh, maybe you knew them since high school and they recently passed as well or something. But anyway, that's coming through. So I'm going to throw that out there too. It seemed like as your family was pulling back, that person came in. I don't know. I'm not really getting too much else. Anything else?
That's it.
All right, Jody, I hope that was helpful. All right.
Jess Mack.
Hey,
All right.
Jess.
She says, good evening, ladies. Good to see you both. Any messages for me? Thanks. Okay.
Whoever this is, they were playing a tune, and I was trying to like get what the tune was. It was like dun 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 dun. Dun. I don't know what it is. And I was like, all right, well, I need some words or something. And they were like, mission, mission, mission.
Oh,
like,
so you were doing the Mission Impossible theme song?
No, it was not that.
It
No,
wasn't?
it definitely was not. That I would have recognized. That was
Okay.
not what it was. But it was almost like, I don't know if they were making it up because I don't know what they're talking about, but that's what I heard.
So tonight's live is about dead people and mission.
Yes, I know.
It's all good.
Well, there's this. Okay, it feels like it's a quick message. Actually, what I'm getting is life is short. That's the message. Life is short. Move forward. So whatever it is, a lot of times we get complacent about, I don't know, things that we know we should be doing or trying to look into, or a feeling of like, well, I can do that, then or whatever. If you're getting any kind of calling or nudge to do something, don't put it off. Step right into it and do it. And I think this is good for all of us, and I know I probably need to hear this too sometimes. We need to really approach things as if we only have another day left. What can we do to move things forward? If we were to leave this earth tomorrow, how would we be leaving it? Have we done what we need to do? And so just keep working it from that angle. And that way you don't feel like, well, I've got time. You probably do have a lot of time. But at the same time, the years fly by and you look back and you're like, whoa, what did I do for those last 10 years? I don't know.
Well, and the other thing too, I feel like just coming in really strongly along those same lines is that we've all been given gifts and talents, and are we taking the time every day to fully develop and use those gifts and talents? Because we've been given those gifts so that we can hopefully serve the Ascension mission and to make our lives better and make lives better for everyone else around us. So I feel like we can't have even a day wasted when it comes to all of that. It's like Yeah, I'll have to have some urgency around that. I just heard life is shorter than you think.
And someone just said, "You're beautiful."
Yay.
I don't think I've got anything else.
I think that's it.
All right, Kathleen Lynch. I would love to know if I'm on the right path.
Okay.
I just heard yes. The thing is, we're never really on the wrong path. There's higher and lower paths. So the paths that are for your highest good are, usually the ones that we're aiming for. It doesn't mean that the paths are easy, but I do feel like you're on. I'm going to say like the higher paths because we shift in and out. I think of the higher good path, and even when we're aiming for the highest, and we are just trying to do what we're here to do, which should be all of our aim. What is the highest good here? What are we trying to accomplish? Help me be on that path and on the straight and narrow on that path. And but we slip off of it sometimes through fear and things like that. And it's a journey, of course. I think very few people stay on that highest path all the time.
And they just want me to pipe up and chip in. So in the Law of One books, they often say, so if you look up on Amazon, it's called the Raw Contact. It's a channeling. We refer to it all the time.
It's good stuff.
One of the things they say in there is that in between lives, when as a soul, when we're trying to figure out, well, what am I going to do in this lifetime? We pick all these different soul lessons and assignments, and they said most souls are over ambitious. Most souls over program the lifetime with lessons. And there's basically, you're not supposed to get a score of 100%. You're not always supposed to be on the best and highest path and timeline because that means you basically undershot. Like you basically signed up for you didn't take advantage of the spot you were given. Like these spots to incarnate on Earth are in very high demand, and people pack in a ton of catalysts, which basically means like bad crap happens to you because through that there's growth and there's soul growth and there's lessons and there's strength and there's wisdom that comes from all the difficulties that we're confronted with. And so I know that that's not exactly what your question is because you want to know if you're on the right path. And I feel like that question is sort of am I making all the right decisions and all the right choices? Sometimes with what we've signed up for, we're meant to make sort of wrong choices because we're supposed to learn something from that. And so your question is more complicated than basically.
Exactly.
And so the question we usually ask is, am I nailing it? Or am I effing it up? Meaning all right, with all the choices I'm making and everything coming at me right now, am I basically doing the best possible job at it? Am I reacting in all the right ways? Am I handling it really, really well? Or am I just being a total bonehead? And so from that perspective, I feel like you do a pretty good job. You're in the upper echelons of nailing it. No one's always perfect all the time, and that's okay. Because it's all learning, it's all growth. And there's a process.
And it's a challenge. Yeah. So when you keep aiming for the higher or highest paths, you're going to be met with really difficult challenges because that is the highest growth potential. And not always. Sometimes the hard roads are pretty high growth too. Mm-hmm. But what you're going to do when you're aiming for your highest good, you're going to be probably in service to others or some massive mission of some sort, and whatever that is for you, or it's some sort of a healing journey or something. And, but it's not made to be easy. You really are going to face some of your biggest fears, your biggest challenges, your deepest shadowy self issues, whatever it is. And, so basically, if you're facing your fears and you're looking at your shadow and just wanting to grow as a person, then you're nailing it pretty much.
I think that is all.
Yeah.
All right. Faye Robbins. Hello, beautiful ladies. Hello, beautiful lady.
Hey.
Any messages? Thank you. Okay.
I know. Sometimes your guys give me the funniest images, Faye. I just saw a slice of pecan pie. I don't know if that's a guide or if it's a loved one. It might be a loved one too. I think it might be. I think it is. I'm not sure who this is. It feels like it might be another loved one. Um, but they were like, I heard, move over, Rover. I don't know. It sounds like it's a loved one. I think they're just excited that you're on here tonight and just all anxious to get up and on in here and say hi. I don't know who this is or what it means, but I heard the name Shelly. So I don't know if that's who this is or what, but that's what I hear. Okay, and then someone said emotions. So I feel like there's some emotions that I think you're needing to work through or deal with or reconcile. And there's some consciousness work that kind of goes along with that. And it feels like it's about a relationship, I think, and just processing maybe some I don't know if it's disrespect or a misunderstanding or something like that, but being able to process it from a higher point of view. Okay, and I feel like they want me to say this too. When we're in a relationship with somebody, and it could be anybody, it could be a family member, a husband, child, whatever it is, and we get triggered, and no one triggers us more than those people that we're closest to, right? I mean, that tends to be the key here, and that's why we come in together so that we can catalyze and
Trigger each other.
grow. We're good for each other and our challenges.
Mm.
And but one of the best things you can do when you're feeling challenged and maybe you're having a hard time getting out of the weeds of the challenge with that person, but you can't, you're not going to cut the relationship out or anything like that. You really want to make the relationship grow or get better. One of the things that my guides often recommend is not focusing on the negative things that are happening so much, especially if it's something you've tried to address and it's just not getting fixed. And it's not about letting people walk all over you or anything like that either, but it's about the focus and where your focus lies, because what you focus on expands. And when you're working in relationship with somebody, if you're really focused on the dishes or they said that nasty thing, they're being awful people, they're treating me with disrespect, whatever it is, and you kind of let that spin, that's the energy that you're expanding in that relationship. And to really, yeah, okay, yep, they're not doing what I want them to do. Okay, but I'm going to flip this and I'm going to get into a higher power, a higher state, and I'm going to focus on the good things. And so you really work hard to focus on the great things that they do or have done, and you become their biggest fan. And one of the things that that they have me say over and over and over again is, how do I become this person's biggest fan? How do I become their biggest fan? And in that, you're shifting the energy. And before you know it, a lot of things start to shift and change with that person because what you're trying to get out of it has shifted and changed. A lot of times when we focus on the negative, sometimes it's more about almost like what am I trying to say? It's like a confirmation.
Confirmation bias.
Well, you're trying to prove, see that person. There's a word for it, and for whatever reason, it's not coming. But you're like, see, that's how they treat me. Yep, there it is again. Yep, there it is. That's them, right? And that's what's happening. So yeah, shift that. And I think that we get caught up in that sometimes because we get into this hole of just weeds.
A hole of weeds.
A hole of weeds. I don't know what else to call it.
Well, and jumping off point for Faye, but also for everybody. What I was getting is that starting really soon, and I think for a lot of next year, it will be the best of times, it will be the worst of times, which is good because the last couple of years have just been the worst of times and the worst of times. So now we'll get a mix. But what they showed was if you look at a range of like 0 to 10, if 0 is the worst of times and 10 is the best of times, what they were showing me is that 2022 is going to contain both. Whereas the last couple of years has just been like all on the crap end of the stick.
It's been real rough. Not going to lie.
But what our job is in that, so that sounds like a roller coaster, right? Like, oh, it's the best, it's the worst. Oh, like, it's rising above it and trying to get into a higher perspective. So I do feel like this particular live is going to come in handy for people where you're going to want to like bookmark this and like rewatch it, because the advice in here about the idea of rising above and doing that work where you can become enlightened, like for example, writing about yourself in the third person that came in earlier, the idea of how to be an enlightened individual, somebody who can roll with the punches, take things in stride. Is there any more tired cliche I can throw at this situation? It's about, so on the one, if somebody's really in the weeds on things and they react from their ego, they're gonna, like, when the bad stuff happens, they're gonna be, oh no, and when the good things happen, they're gonna be like, woohoo. And the thing is that neither of those is good, really. And I know that sounds weird to say it's not good to be on the woohoo side, because it means you're too attached to the outer conditions for the happiness. You want to be in a steady state of joy. And then that way, whether it's the poop hitting the fan or whether they're throwing a parade in your honor, either way, you're like, this is nice. And I know that sounds like a 1950s housewife on Valium or something, but it's not. It comes from a state of doing the work and being able to meditate and being able to not attach to needing things to be any kind of way for your joy and your inner peace and your happiness.
And you're not going to be perfect at it.
No.
And that's okay.
But if you can do this work, you can catch yourself from, sometimes it can be a slippery slope, and then we feel like we can't recover, and it's all negative and nothing. God,
why?
Why, God, why me? Right? So it's like learning to catch yourself and then be like, oh, there's probably a better way of looking at this. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we all need to continue mastering that skill.
Great. I love it.
Of rising above the weed hole.
Now bring me the parade.
I want the parade. All day, every day.
Seriously, yes.
Okay.
All right, where are we? Okay. Brenda Armstrong. Hello, any message for me today?
Okay, Brenda.
And this, I think we might get one or two more in.
Okay.
It really is about mission. I heard mission, 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 and then I saw a flower. But I feel like we need to talk about like the bigger picture of mission too. I feel like it's suddenly going there. And I think this is for most, if not all, of anyone who's watching this at this point. We are in the time of the ascension. We are having serious catalyst, and it's got significant meaning to it. And it might seem like things are a little crazy and nuts. There's good reason, good reason. And we hope that we're all using this as a means to work through our karma, to work through our healing, and to grow consciously and to come to that higher wisdom in those higher places and spaces, and to love each other again, to really get back to love and joy and appreciation. And it's coming. It may seem like you're trying to do that in the dark at times, but that's where you find the most growth, is when you need to become your own light, and when you need to find your way through that darkness, knowing that everything is going to be just fine. And those of us who are really strongly feeling about mission, for some people, they come and their mission literally is to work through karma or to heal or to be there for somebody else in some way or to teach. Other people, it really is about higher, bigger picture, collective mission work for this ascension process and the awakening that's happening across the world right now. And it's really important that we step into our power, stop judging ourselves, get out of the lower based vibrations of hate and fear and resistance and rejection and judgment. And like all of that needs to go. And if you find yourself, I should say, when you find yourself in any of those states, consciously choose to move out of it. You're not going to find answers there. You're just going to get stuck. And focus on your mission and your purpose. Try not to put so much attention into the craziness that's going on around you unless it directly involves you. Mm-hmm. And move up into a higher space and get into love and compassion and embrace what's here. It's really important that we use these experiences in this time and these energies to advance and to help each other in that process as well. And so I feel like that was really important for you, Brenda, but it's also, I think, a bigger message for everybody. Yeah. And I think that's it. Did you get anything?
I just heard the word unity. Unity consciousness, ASAP. Yeah, I think just a few more thoughts, and it just kind of reinforces what Jen was saying. There's so many opportunities. The country's very divided on many issues, and there's a lot of reasons people feel like they are entitled to judge each other, and try to resist that urge. Just know that people have different fears that they're operating with and desires. But at the end of the day, we all want what's best. What our version of what we think that might be, and just know that we don't all, nobody has all the answers. And if I think a lot of what I see going around, and I'm sure we've all seen it, is half people are saying, "You're an idiot. How could you?" And the other half is saying the same exact thing. And
it's not getting us anywhere.
No, and I saw a beautiful tweet on the Twitter that said, if everybody would just come together and drum and dance, all the world's right, all the world's problems would be solved. And I was like, sounds good to me.
Let's do it.
Right. So unity consciousness. Yeah. And I think one final note, unless you have more final notes, but the idea of the way mass meditation can raise the vibration of the entire planet. And they've seen scientifically, there's less crime, for example, fewer murders and things like that. So if we don't even need to all organize a mass meditation, but if we're all doing that consciousness work and we're working every day at keeping our vibration high and staying out of those lower states, like Jen was mentioning, it makes the world a better place in a very real way.
And it just makes you feel better too. I mean, you're in a better place.
Right.
Yeah.
All of it. Yeah.
Because you're more in alignment with God, creator, universe. You're in alignment, and really that's so key. And when you're in alignment, those around you see it, and then they want to be in alignment, and they're like, I don't know what she's doing, but I want that.
Right on.
Right? So let's all be in alignment.
Sweet.
Peace. I want my parade.
Just kidding. All right, well, now you guys, I got a job on my hands, apparently. Wish me luck.
It'll be the divinely guided with Jenn and Katie parade.
Oh, okay. You guys have work to do.
Yeah.
Good luck.
All right, guys. All right. Well, we love you guys, and we'll see you
in a month.
Wow, January.
Yeah, we'll see you in January, first Thursday of January. So mark your calendars.
Yeah, and otherwise, look at divinelyguided.tv
and join our soul growth group.
Yeah. All right, guys.
All right. Bye.
Bye. All right, I'm going to do it this time.
Sweet.